If you want to build overall strength and specifically want to hit PRs on your bench, squat, and deadlift, watch this because we're going to help our boy over here on how to get stronger. Amon, amen. Sorry if I butcher your name. I'm not too good with names, but he says, can there be a video, I'm assuming he's saying be a video on how to hit 500 pounds on the big 3 lifts? So obviously he's talking about the squat, bench, and deadlifts. 100% doable for the deadlifts and squats. But like I said, a 500 pound bench, that's like the 1%ers. So like those are, that it's very rare, right? But deadlift, squats, 100% achievable. And who knows, maybe he might be that 1% too, where one day he'll hit a 500 pound bench too, right? But so what we're going to be specifically talking about is not how to hit 500 pound on the big 3 lifts, but just how to get stronger so we can make our way closer to that 500 pound, but 100% achievable. By the way, this is in my school community. If you want to join, link is in the description. It's free, anyone can join. Just trying to put more content out within the powerlifting community. And if you're interested in getting stronger and learning new things, join up. How to get stronger. So whether you're starting at 225 bench, 135 bench, 315 squat, 225 squat, 405 deadlifts, we're just going to talk about some things on how you can get stronger. You might know this already, maybe you might not. So hopefully you at least learn something here. But we're going to talk about mainly for the type of people who are starting to get into powerlifting or strength training and want to build more strength. On top of that, you will still build muscles along the way, but specifically tailored to those who want to build strength. So we're going to talk about 3 things. Type of training that you're going to have to change, exercise selections, and specifically programming. So this is going to be quite a long video because I'm going to go more in depth with programming and tell you guys a beginner friendly and a program that a lot of people have made progress with, even myself. This is probably the first, we're going to talk about it later, but this program is probably the first program I ran, and it created big numbers and it's got me to where I am. So let's start with the type of training. So type of training. We have, okay, time to doodle now. Time to doodle. We got, do not mind my writing. I'll get better at this. We got hypertrophy, and then we got strength. So this is, what is this, an N? Oh, damn, my bad. So we got 2 different types of training styles. We got hypertrophy training and strength training. I'm going to do my best to dumb everything down when it comes to this whole video. So hypertrophy training, building muscle, get that aesthetic build, you know, getting toned up, really popping out each of your muscle parts in your body, right? So this training style, you know, real quick, it's here. Let's do hype, strength. You get the point. So here we got, like, you know, the 2 by 12 sets. You got the 3 by 15 reps. Like, you got like the high reps scheme, and, like, you know, sets can vary, right? But the whole point of this is just how you're moving the weight when you're performing the set. So it's the way you move it, time under tension, and just really trying to build a muscle within your body, right? Then you got strength. Strength varies too. You got the 5 by 5s, which is like the most common. You got like the 1 by 1s. You got the 3 by 6 to 8. So mind you, like, whether it's hypertrophy or strength, you can do any of these, right? But this is just like the gist of the differences. So we're just doing the comparison on what is hypertrophy and what's strength training, right? I'm no like scientist or anything. I'm just doing it based off of like my knowledge and what I've experienced and done through my lifting career. Well, what do we want to do? If we want to get stronger, focus on the strength training. So we're going to focus more on like this side. Okay. Mind you, another difference is that hypertrophy training, we're really trying to target every part of the muscle, rear delts, biceps, triceps, calves, all that kind of stuff. For strength training, we're really trying to do exercises that is going to help with our SBD, aka squat, bench, deadlift. So when I say SBD, it just means squat, bench, deadlift, right? That's basically the main differences, right? We'll talk about the exercise selection in a little bit. So this is the type of training that we're going to focus on today, is the strength training. We have to choose exercises that are going to complement our squat, bench, and deadlifts. So obviously we have the squat, bench, and deadlift. So that is a no-brainer. We're going to do squat, bench, and deadlifts. Bench is for the upper body. Deadlift is like an overall full body. And then squat is like legs, right? So we got to choose exercises, aka more of like the compound exercises or exercises that are going to help benefit our SBD. And I'll list some down real quick, but mainly obviously you can still do isolation exercises, like exercises that target one muscle group instead of multiple, right? You can still add it in your program, but we're not going to really focus on like dumbbell curls or calf raises, because like none of those really do much for the squat or like the deadlift, right? Compared to if we did bigger muscle group exercises. Okay, real quick, obviously there is a lot of exercise selections you guys can choose to help with all of these three, but just to make things simpler, I'm just going to tell you, my go-to or just like the exercises that I've done and I know that can really help you. High bar squat. Okay, so like I said earlier, compound exercises are exercises that target more than one muscle at the same time. Next, we got hack squats, leg press. So with the squat and the deadlift, they are probably going to be like the same. So I won't put it down, but they're going to be the same thing, right? You got dumbbell or barbell RDLs. You got the short form, but you got Bulgarian split squats. Those are also very good as well. You got leg extensions, leg curls. So these two are more of isolation exercises. So I'm just naming all of these on top of my head. Maybe I forgot some, but these are like probably the go-to compound exercises and isolation exercises you can do for the squat to help complement the squat. So now for bench, we got incline barbell press, this is probably my favorite one. We got dips. Whether it's assisted, body weight, weighted, dips are probably my favorite exercises to do. For the bench, we got floor press. So floor press is basically just doing like a bench press on the floor. We got skull crushers. Skull crushers is an isolation exercise for the tricep, which will help with the lockout part of the bench. Larson press. Larson press is a bench variation. We'll talk about that later, where it's just benching regularly, but your feet are up during the bench. Shoulder press, strengthen the shoulders and a little bit of the side delts too. And also do lateral raises as well. And that's good enough for the bench. So these are a good amount of exercises you can do for the bench. So now, deadlift. deadlifts, like I said, I might repeat like for the squat, but deadlifts, we got RDLs, pause deadlift, deficit deadlifts. You got also dumbbell RDLs, hip thrust, barbell rows, and rack pulls. So, real quick, lower body exercises. Honestly, combining these two lower body exercises, it'll overall build strength and grow your legs so you can have a better squat and a stronger deadlift. Bench, pretty straightforward, and this is pretty much for the exercise selection. So you see how like we still have isolation exercises, but we don't have like face pulls, we don't have dumbbell curls, we don't have barbell curls, we don't have like pec fly. So you see what I'm saying? Like we can add other stuff too, but like this is like the go-to parts where, you know, like for example, deadlifts. Like just because this is here does not mean you can't do a lat pull down or a pull up or a seated row. So I'm just strictly telling you like the best and like exercise that I've done to get a better SPD. Don't get me wrong, still do other stuff if you like, but this is more for someone who wants to get stronger, right? So programming, I'm gonna tell you guys a quick beginner, easy to follow program, and it's honestly like so easy to follow. It might look confusing at first, but I'll explain it as we go through. It is called linear periodization. Stay with me, okay? Linear periodization. Just to make things simple, it's basically, if you look at it at a graph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then we got, that's a 65, 70, 75, 80. So you see here, right? So on the left side, this is the percentages of the weight that you're going to be lifting based off of your 1 rep max. So when we're going to be talking about percentages, it's basically doing the percent, like doing the calculations off of your 1 rep max. So for example, if your PR is 135 pounds, and we in the future, like later on when we talk about it, if I say 80% of your 1 rep max, you're going to do times 0.80, and that's going to equal a number, right? Same thing, 135 times 0.65, that's the number that you're going to be doing for your working set, okay? So keep that in mind, okay? Make sure they do the calculations right. All right, so when we do the calculations, linear periodization is because as the weeks go by, it's going to be making a straight line. Okay, so week by week, we're going to be going heavier, heavier, and heavier. All right, and it's going to be broken down to 3 parts. We got the volume block. Each block are 4 weeks long. So this is also known as the mesocycle. We got the volume block, strength block, and we also got the peaking block. So I'll explain that in a little bit. But this is basically why it's called linear periodization, just because like when you look at it, a graph, it's like a straight line going up. Let's continue. Let's start off with the first week. So first block, also known as a volume block, is basically just think about it as a lot of hypertrophy muscle building conditioning. Okay, we're really gonna have our body exposed to a lot of reps and sets. Okay, as you can see here real quick, week 1 we got 2 sets of 6 reps at 65% of 1 rep max. Okay, so another example, let's do this real quick. You got 2 sets of 6 reps at 65, right? So all of these, you're going to do at week 1. For squat, you're going to do 2 sets of 6. Bench, 2 sets of 6. Deadlift, 2 sets of 6, right? After you're all done the working sets, you guys can do another 2 or 3 sets and just drop the weight by minusing it by 10 to 15%, okay? 2 by 6, let's say your 1 rep max is 225, right? Boom. So, real quick, calculator, 225 times 0.65. 146, or you can do like 145 pounds, is going to be your working set. So you're going to be doing, let's say 145. 145 pounds, 2 sets of 6 reps. All right. So you're kind of getting the pattern here now, right? You see what I mean now? Then that's week 1. Week 2, you do 3 sets of 6 reps at 68%. Same math, same calculations. And then week 3, 4 sets, 6 reps, 72. And then week 4, 5 sets, 6 reps at 75. So you see, you can already tell that each week the sets are increasing, reps are increasing, and just having a lot of volume being exposed to the body. 65, 68, 72, 75. All right. That is the volume block. Second part is the strength block. So this is like a mix of the third part and the first part. You'll know what I mean later on. But now we're kind of mixing in the rep ranges, but also, let's pick up the weight now. So here we got week 1, 5 by 5. Most common thing, 77.5% of 1 rep max. So quickly, make sure before you start this block, this is 12 weeks. So this is going to be like a 12-week program. Make sure that you have your current 1 rep maxes down. So bench 135, squat 225, and then deadlift 405, right? And then all you're doing is doing the calculations based off your current 1 rep max. That's just one thing to keep note of is when you're doing this 12-week program. After that, week 2, 4 sets, 5 reps at 80%. So now you can see here, let's say 1 rep max is 225 again, right? 225 pounds for bench. You got bench 4 sets of 5. All right. So let's do that. Do the math again. 225 times 0.80. 4 sets of 5 reps. 180. So now you're going to do 180 of 4 sets of 5 reps. Pretty redundant. It's obviously like going to repeat itself a lot. I'm repeating myself a lot, right? So as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Weight is each week, the weight is slowly increasing. Okay. So now we're going to start to go on the heavier weights. So you can see the pattern here. Once again, as you can see here, week 5, optional deload. Essentially what a deload is just like a recovery week where you're just dropping the intensity and the volume. So it's just more for like if you're feeling fatigue, if you're not recovering enough and you just feel tired, right? So optional deload is, you can do it also on the 4th week, but what I did was on the 5th week, if I needed a deload, then I would do it on the 5th week and then restart the next block. Okay. So now we got the peaking block. Peaking block is where we prep the body to get itself ready for PR week. So this is, now you can see like the major difference here. Now we got one set, of top sets. So these are top sets. So this is 1 working set. And then once we're done the top set at 3 reps at 92%, then we're going to go do back downs. So it's like a pyramid. So you work your way up, to your 90%, 1 rep max. You hit that for 3 reps. And then after that, you're going to go back down and do 6 sets of 5 reps. So it's a pyramid, right? At 65. So obviously the 6 by 5 isn't going to be at 92. It's just going to be too much. It's OD. And you're going to do 6 sets of 5 reps at 65% of 1 rep max. So these are also known as back offs or back downs. They shouldn't be heavier than like your actual top set of working sets. This is where you can start to, see where your strength is coming out, where it's at now. So now you're going heavy, 92% of your 1 rep max. So another quick example, 225 is your 1 rep max. And we gotta multiply it by 0.92. Let's see. 225 times 0.92. 207. So you're going to be doing 207. 1 set of 3 reps. So now you can see it's getting heavier. Now we're pushing more weight, but now we're doing less reps. So this is really good because now you can kind of get like, you can here you can kind of play around and maybe even hit rep PRs. So these reps and sets and percentages I showed you is what you're going to do on something called your primary lifts. So your primary lifts are just honestly just like what you would do when you're hitting a PR. You're not long pausing, you're not doing tempos, none of that, right? And then you also got your secondary movements. So I did not mention it in the program at all. The program with the volume, strength, and the peaking is all going to be for your primary lifts, as if you're going to hit a PR, right? The same setup as if you're going to hit a PR and nothing else, right? Secondary movements are just different variations, or more, I like to call it more technical work to find weak points, aka sticking points, to help with your primary lifts. So what are some variations of the squat? So we got pause squats, tempo squats. Pause squats is just that you're pausing for a couple seconds on the bottom half of the lift. Tempo squats is just how fast you're moving the bar from point A to point B. If you are a low bar squatter, so the bar is on your rear delts, you can do a high bar. If you are a low bar squatter, if you are a high bar squatter, which is on the traps, then you can do a low bar as well. Then you got safety squat bar, where there's like the handles in front of you. And you can also do leg press as well. So these are just secondary movements, right? For the squat. For the bench, what we got for the bench, I talked about this earlier. We got Larson press. Larson press, same thing, tempo bench. We got floor press. We got Spoto press. Spoto press is basically just your regular bench, but you're not letting the bar touch your chest. You're kind of like letting it hover above your chest a little bit. We also got pause bench. And that's honestly pretty much it for the secondary movements that I can think of off my head right now. Deadlifts. We got RDLs. Like I said, it might be repetitive. Barbell rows. Deficits. You also got block pulls. You got pause. These are all pretty self-explanatory. And cluster sets. So these are secondary movements. Quick example for squats. For squats, right? Let's say over here, we squat on Monday, right? Oh, 1 second. Start on Monday. Monday we start. We have our primary squats. So just like on the program, we follow the percentages, the reps, and the sets. Then, let's say Friday we can implement the secondary movements. Which we listed earlier. So you see, so you got Monday, then you got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday is when you can do your secondary movement. You can do just a simple, 4 by 5 or 3 by 6, and roughly around 70 to like 75% of your 1 rep max. So you see, it's not too heavy, but you're still also getting the reps and sets in, and it's more just focusing more on like the technical part of the lifts. So you get the point now, right? And then you put all those together, you can hit new PRs, get stronger, and hopefully our boy, Amen, hopefully I did not butcher your name, then he can get to his 500-pound deadlift and squat. Bench, couldn't tell you. I'm not even there yet. But yeah, so hopefully this helps. Hopefully it's also like organized as well. I was trying to like structure it as best and like simple, in the best and simple way, right? And there's so much more to it, but this is like a good beginner program you guys can try doing. And I've done it. A lot of people have done it, made progress, and that's pretty much it on how to get stronger in depth. Probably a long ass video, but anyway, guys, there you go. Hope this helped. Hope you guys kind of understand it good, and you can apply it to your training. Other than that, that is it. Once again, join the free community. Just trying to help you guys get stronger and be better powerlifters, or just gym rats as well, right? Other than that, till next time, peace.